Okay, so welcome to the Multi Record Studio. We're in the retro kind of corner today. Going to be looking at the MSSIAH MIDI synth software, as you can see on the screen. And press the key like it's telling me to. So this is a new cartridge, or relatively new cartridge, for the Commodore 64, which is hiding underneath my little sound keyboard here. You can see it's got the wonky key. Number 8 there is a bit... It's broken. I need to fix the keyboard. It needs to be cleaned a bit, that one. But it's an old 1980s bread bin C64, and it's just a cartridge that plugs into the back, and it has a MIDI socket on it, so you can play it through MIDI and all that kind of stuff. I tend not to do that all that much. I tend to like to sequence it actually on its own sequence. As you can see, it's got a sequencer, mono synthesizer, bass line, a drum machine, and a wave player where it can actually play back samples that you can send it. So this, because this is an original bread bin, we've got a 6581 SID chip inside here, and I'm going to take you through the sequencer. So we're going to press enter there, or return. It's going to load the sequencer up. You're going to hear a lot of buzz coming through as soon as it loads it, because the SID chip kind of wakes up, and that's unfortunately the noise you get behind it. So but when we start making a tune, it'll all become clear. So, standard kind of Cubase style, Pro Tools style, Logic style layout, goes from left to right. We actually have 6 tracks. I've only actually got 3 because I haven't got a second SID chip enabled in my Commodore 64. I haven't done that to it. So we're going to just go ahead and start making a little idea of a track up on here. So how it works is you have these 3 tracks, but you have 32 sounds you can trigger from the tracks, and these are set up in the instruments window. As soon as I get here, I can start playing the keys. And it starts playing me. I can change the octaves around at the top here. Nice, and get down the bottom there. Now, these are the presets we have here. I hope you can see my mouse pointer moving around here. I can flick through different presets, and we're going to start off by getting a drum sound. Now, you can flick the drum sounds around on here, which we're going to do a little bit. I'm just going to find the Simmons sound here. I'm going to load that into number 1. Yes, I want to do that. Now you can see my sound 1 is now called Simmons. Click that down to sound 2. I'm going to go and find a hi-hat sound like that there. Are you sure to load that into number 2? Yes, I do. So now put a hi-hat sound on there, just a noise sound. If I flick up to number 1, a nice little sound there. I'm going to play a little pattern in like that. So that's those 2 sounds there. Let's go and make a little pattern with that. I'm going to do that on track 3, so that's going to be my rhythm track. Now, because I haven't only got the Neos mouse, I haven't got the original Commodore mouse, I can't use the right mouse button on it. If anybody reads any of the forum that says the Neos mouse doesn't work with it, it does work with it. You just have to hold both the mouse buttons down when you turn the machine on to put it into joystick mode, and then as you can see, it works perfectly fine. It's just you don't get the right mouse button, so you have to use the F5 key to get your toolbox window up. So I'm going to get the pencil, create 2 little regions here, and using the glue from the tool menu, hold down the shift and double click the first one to make it into 2 bars. And then just the same as you do in Logic or Cubase or whatever, you just set the cycle region around the top there. Back to the mouse pointer, double click into here, and we get a normal looking grid edit window where I've got my keys down the sides here, and it goes from left to right. I've got a record button down the bottom, so you can actually record straight into this, which is probably what I'm going to do. As soon as I hit record, it's going to start playing a metronome for me. I'm going to go. Okay, there we go. So now I can play that round. That note needs moving over to the front. So just like any other sequencer we get on any of the modern computers. Now the clever bit you can do with the sounds here is you put this little, click these 4 little buttons here: velocity, program, bend, and slide. You put it into program, you can actually tell each note to change the sound, to trigger a different sound. If I wanted to go in and make a hi-hat, for instance, let's move it up a little octave there. Let's say I'm going to go into the pencil again here with the F5 key. And initially it's going to put it on onto that there. I'm going to move this by clicking this little box at the bottom here. I can drag upwards. It changes the sound. Same here on this one. Cool, too many sounds up. So, of course, this can be used for bass lines or anything. You have to be careful though with it slightly, because it. I could also change the sound there, make it easier. If you put them too close together, because the SID chip is not very quick at switching, it tends to slow it. It's like you get a little bit of a weird shuffly feeling to it. It looks like it goes a bit out of time. Okay, that'll do for me, I think, on there. So we'll close that down with the X in the top corner, and now we've got that pattern playing there around our cycle mode. So let's go and choose another instrument now, or maybe make an instrument up for the bass sound we're going to put in. So we're going to go to instrument number 3, and this is set to the default sound. So let's just play around with this. So we've got the usual sorts of things. Here's the oscillator over here, LFO, envelope section for the modulation, a filter, and the amplifier, VCA, voltage controlled amplifier. So just going to change the amplifier section a bit. Just make that a little bit more bass sound like. Change the oscillator shape, so we can change it square wave, sort of sine wave, and a triangle wave. You can mix them together, but they tend to catch each other out unless you know what you're doing, and makes it a whole lot of more complicated. There's my beat playing. Okay. So my keyboard needs cleaning on this C64 because it keeps triggering the space bar, which is the one key that probably doesn't work quite as well as the rest of them. Let's have that as the sound. Let's go and name that. Let's call it, take that off there for a second, my bass, just because I can't think of anything else to call it. That'll do. And then we'll close that. So instrument 3 is now called my bass. Now I'm going to go to track 2 to put this down. So we're going to go F5 again, pencil. Whoop. Let's do a 2-bar again there. Choose the glue, shift, double click, there we go, okay. Okay, so we were going, so we've got this playing along here. So playing my drum kit, just as you expect it to do in Logic or Cubase or Pro Tools or anything like that at all. don't have any control over volumes of sounds in here either. So let's try and see if we can move that up a bit. So let's go and do some editing on this bass line here. Use there. Let's go back to velocities on there. Now with the mouse pointer we can draw boxes around. Highlight everything like that. Better. Go into my instrument again and just do a bit of release time on the instrument. Okay, and stop that a second. It is spacebar to play and stop, but as I said, my spacebar doesn't work very well on this one at the moment. I need to clean it, so that's why I'm not using spacebar. Let's just go and shift click that, join those two together, back to mouse pointer, and now we're going to go and find something to put on the next sound. Let's find something. Where was it? Let's have a look here. That one. Let's listen to that one. Okay, let's try that on top of there. Just stop that and put it into record. Whoop. Those notes on there, there they are. Let's move them back to the right place. Let's mute those drums for a second. So drums are quite sort of loud on the C63 playing out of it itself. It's a bit tricky sometimes, so I tend to not use the drums on one of the tracks here. I'll tend to put another sound on there instead. Now I'm going to copy this part using the Commodore key and drag them across. Shift key, maybe shift key. No, shift key just selects it. No, go on, Commodore key. No, it's just copying it, copying it. Oh, it won't let me do it because no, there. No. Just do everything except that last note then. because I had that last note on there, it couldn't go any further to the right, so it wouldn't let me do it. Let's try an octave down instead, see if that sounds better. Delete that one and move that one over. That's it. Let's just change these drum notes now. Makes it a bit more interesting and a little bit less drum-like on there. Two. Quite like that actually, it's quite nice. And then we want to arrange it. It's exactly the same as you do with any other program. You just grab the regions you want, hold down the Commodore key and drag it, and it creates copies of the regions. You can then, the drums coming over here, should we, like that. And we put the cycle range all the way over here like that. Actually, it might be better to put those across there. One now like that. And then we take these across there. And the other thing you can also do with it, individual regions, just the same as in Logic, can be real-time transposed. If you want to take that up 5 semitones, for instance, like that, and that one up as well, like that. And when we play it, turn the cycle off at the bottom, There we go. So you can transpose stuff and move stuff around just the same as you can do with Logic, Pro Tools, or anything like that. It's a very, very clever program for to be running on a machine that's like 30 years old anyway. It's a really, really good program. So there we go, 16 bars. We can zoom out a bit on that. So it looks like that on there. Brilliant. And the controls you've got down here, you've got things like put it into MIDI mode so you can play it just as a MIDI sound module. You've got the metronomes, you can turn that on and off. You've got MIDI clocks that will run to MIDI clock as well, so you can sequence stuff up on here and then send it a MIDI clock signal from your main sequencer and it will trigger itself in time. You've got a cycle control which turns the cycle region on and off. And these over here are like the little top section in the inspector in Logic now, where you've got your individual, like the inspector that inspects each whatever you've got highlighted on the screen. Alright, so let's just pop and save that now. Actually, just going to save it, not open it, save it there to disk. Now I haven't got a disk drive on this. I have got a disk drive for this, but I haven't got it on here. I've got one of the little SD card things which you'll see light up in a second. It's just stuck to the side of the machine down the side here. So we'll just call this video. I want spacebar to work. Track. That'll do. Return. Device 8 is the floppy drive. And now you can see the lights lighting up and saving it onto the SD card over there. Great. Well, that's my video about MSSIAH on the Commodore 64 in the retro corner of the Mode2 Records studio. Don't forget to go over to mode2records.com, sign up for the mailing list, and you'll get free sample packs. You'll get free tracks, free videos, all sorts of stuff in there, and also you'll get invitations into the studio sessions that I do every week, which I write a track in an hour. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel below. And I'll see you in the next video.